Hi guys, today's videos we're going to talk about starter pieces of probably SLG first. So this video is meant to provide suggestions or perhaps to give you a little idea or the strain of thoughts that you should consider, you may consider before purchasing your first, second or third piece of SLG, especially from the luxury retail brands. And well, let's just get started first. Okay, so number one, the very common item pieces that people consider would be key pouches. Now let me show you the four main common types of key pouches that it's like, being used or being raved about, talk about, and highly introduced and recommended. So these are the four main ones. And let's start with this style. Now, so this is, let's not talk about brands, but just talk about the functionality and the design. So it could be Louis Vuitton, it could be Gucci, it could be Chanel. For my case, I only have Chanel for this particular style. And it's a regular, a key pouch whereby you can have your keys here with another ring. Some of them do have a card slots behind. For this is a flap right behind. Card slots is over here. Snap button closure and right this. So this is one of the very common piece that a lot of people are talking about. We'll go into details later. Next style would be, this is an L shape kind of zip, which also Prada, Miu Miu, Gucci do have this particular styles also, but in a very seasonal way, seasonal pieces. So it's a one roomy compartment, and there you go, this particular ring to loop it up, and that's what we have. And next we have, it's a regular top zip card holder. That's how it looks like right here. And this is exactly the same, but this is, I don't think it's new. Everybody should be pretty familiar with this. It's the Louis Vuitton, and this is in Damier Azur, which is white in color or cream color. And this is a regular clay pochette. And let's go into details of like which one you may want to consider to start off with. So if you're looking into key pouches, I would say that this is a very classic piece. And if you're talking about classic looking, classic key pouch, classic functionality, I would say this is very classic. Especially I like the look of Chanel. The two main brands that people go for, of course, is Louis Vuitton. Gucci is also a pretty good starter piece in terms of price point and functionality. They're all about the same. But Chanel would be, of course, in a higher price point, but this is very classic looking. This is definitely a piece that pretty well and nicely to be invested in, if not the Louis Vuitton piece, which I do not have. And my personal favorite is actually this particular style, especially from YSL. Why is it so? Is because having a top zip right here adds functionality to a piece that you have. So this could, initially we talk about clay pochette. Yes, it could be a key pouch. Having your keys attached here, put it in, zip it up, you're all done. Having your keys inside attached, you could have some cash, a bit of a card, coins, or maybe a lip product, and you can use it as well. If not, if you want extra room to it, besides having the keys inside, you can attach it outside right here. And all these, this particular pouch would be the whole room. The whole pouch could be used as a wallet, as a little tiny pouch. Some people say usually a wallet or probably a catch-all, but most of the people would like to have keys attached here, and here they will have their cards, maybe some of key fobs to the car, and it could be like a grab and go. That's how I usually like it last time. And then I just with one items, I have my home keys, maybe my car key outside, my little chapstick, coins, cards, cash, all in. So with grabbing one of this particular item, I could just grab and go. And I like this because it's, number one, leather is beautiful with this gold hardware or silver hardware, whichever style, and it is actually a little bigger than the Louis Vuitton piece. When it's already bigger, first, of course, you can house a little bit more stuff. Number two, it's in leather. It's more pliable than a canvas, meaning you could actually stretch a little further. You could use a little bit, have a little bit more room on the inside. So personally, with that tad bit extra size in terms of length and height, it does make the whole difference in terms of what you can bring with you. especially if you're talking about your starter piece, you want it to be perfect. Well, that's my personal opinion, but do you want to start with a YSL, Gucci, or perhaps this one is Louis Vuitton? Chanel pieces are usually in this. They used to have like this, a top zip, like a mini O case, but I haven't seen them for many, many years now. So this is what we have recently gotten, and this is their new style of key pouch, whereby it's not a very new design also, but the functionality is about the same as this. However, I would suggest this a little bit more than this is because it really looks like a pouch, like literally like a little pouch. So if you want to hold it like a pouch, use it like a pouch, it's good. This is more like with the L shape, it gives you a very good access to it, but you feel a little limited with this particular shape and this particular U dip over here. The limitation is there, and with this strong structure on the side, it's actually a little bit structured. It's unlike this leather, it's soft, that it's so pliable that you can just push it, you know, like that. So that's how pliable it is. But this is more structured. So it's pretty impossible to do what I've done to YSL piece just now. So therefore, in terms of capacity, it's pretty limiting. Although, I mean, in terms of its compartment, its space, it's pretty good already. It's pretty excessive for key pouches, but again, you can use it with keys, cards, coins, maybe a very thin lip product inside. Yep, that is how you can use that too. Louis Vuitton is very much raved about. Of course, in terms of price point, is one of the better ones, but I would say that this particular piece, is really canvas. You could stuff it a little bit more. Yes, you could stretch it, but over time you would see a lot of wear in terms of this particular zipper pull. If you're using it every single day, and if you're pulling it out, it really depends. If you're just using it for your keys, you're only pulling it out, you know, in and out of your house, the chances of reaching out to this, rubbing and having these frictions against the zipper pull is a bit lower. But if you're using this as a wallet, card holder, key pouch, I mean, you probably would be reaching for this item for like 5 to 10 times a day, using the zipper pull here and there, wash your hands, touch your items, whatsoever. You would see a bit, you know, the wear and tear would be much higher in this case also. I mean, same goes for all these pieces. But again, that goes, you know, really decide if you're thinking whether you want to get it as just solely for a key pouch sake, or you just want to use it like a miscellaneous. But usually most of the time that if it's especially your first piece and you've saved up for a long time, you just want to get one good piece. In the world of key pouches, I personally feel that this particular style, not necessarily YSL, but this particular style would maximize your opportunity in terms of the type, you know, the purpose, you know, different purpose of use in terms of that, and then how versatile is it that you can use this for. So I think that this is a very, very good option. I prefer YSL, again, it is because of the leather material. Of course, the price point is almost doubled to this. Yeah, and then no, this is not that cheap anyway, so it's just about a fraction higher, but I highly recommend this instead. This is a higher price point in the world of talking about Chanel, but if you're going into a good luxury, and if it's your first piece and you feel so afraid to have wear and tear, start with this, because these Chanel pieces have quilts, and looking after the leather is one, looking after the quilts is another, and at the same time to use your pieces. So if you're so paranoid, usually in your first or second piece of purchasing a luxury good, you are pretty paranoid. So that's a very common, you know, emotions that we all get. But that's where I would suggest you could probably start with these pieces. You would have a better peace of mind. Yeah. But if you're talking about your second piece, your third piece, or you want to try a Chanel, you can go ahead with that. But in terms of like maximize, you know, being brutal or a little bit rough and carefree with your items, these are more, Chanel would not be the number one option, because you do have to look after the leather a little bit. And of course, there are different leathers. Again, that will probably be in another video. You can let me know if you're interested. We'll talk deep into like Chanel, what is suitable for a starter piece. So this is all for the clays. And next good item would probably be a card holder, which you're not new to it, I'm sure, but I do recommend in terms of from labels like Gucci, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, YSL. These are the little bit more common pieces. I would recommend this YSL in terms of this particular style. Chanel pieces, I think it's very good because when you start with Chanel, the length is a little longer. Having said that, and the leather is a little bit more pliable, so reaching in and out is very easy for Chanel. But you have to look after the quilts and the leather. So if you can't really take that pressure, then YSL is a very good alternative. Now, why did I choose YSL comparing with Louis Vuitton? Louis Vuitton, I mean, they do have the leather piece, but the price point would be a little bit much higher. They do have the regular monogram canvas type pieces, but those monogram canvases, they do tend to flare up a little bit, meaning like the leather should be like that, but it could over time flare up a little bit. So it's like a little bit open and flat, which I don't like it, whereby a leather piece would be much better in terms of such maintenance. And I personally like YSL because of this particular hardware and how durable. Now, in terms of durability for a leather piece in such card holders, I mean, the common labels I'm talking about, YSL is one of the better ones because it's really, really, really tough. It's like really, really tough. It's sturdy, and some pieces, not all, some pieces when you first started, you would have difficulty in getting your cards in and out. I mean, for all card holders, I mean, most of them, you will have such problems. Big labels, or the conventional types, you do have a little bit tricky part in terms of reaching in and out your cards, your cash or whatsoever when you first start to use it. So do give it some time to stretch, relax, and to make and allow your use to be more easy. So this is item number 2, which I think is highly raved about also, and nothing new, no new ideas to that. But personally, I would say that YSL would be one of the better option as compared with other labels in terms of your starter piece. If you want durability, beauty, and functionality, that would be one of a good point. And the price point is still reasonable, so it's not too bad. Up next would be my personal favorite, which is this little flap card holder. Now, I believe over the past 2-3 years, this has been, or smaller, SLGs have highly been raved. And well, basically we are moving into smaller bags, so we always like smaller SLGs. And when will we grow back to the bigger ones? Well, I think a couple of years time maybe, but as of now, we know that everybody's raving about small items, flap card holders. This is the smaller one with a single pocket. But again, talking about style, I'm not talking about this particular brand first, but style. There are some other labels, Louis Vuitton, sometimes Gucci. They do offer these pieces also, which I thought that it's really user-friendly and very practical, and it's good for small bags. And price point is not that high. Even Chanel pieces, I would say that so far these particular style, I mean this style, if you're starting Chanel and you're so paranoid about the puffs, about the quilts, start with a chevron piece. It's not so obvious if the puff is like flattened, or you don't have to be so mindful in terms of how you want to look after the puffs and the quilts, or the chevron stitching and so on. So I would say that chevron starter piece would be one of the good ones, but in terms of style, this is one of the better option. Number one, the price point is lower. They do have an XL size, meaning there is a slit pocket behind, and on the inside there are 2 compartments. But that piece, the price point jumped pretty high. It's quite a wide gap. I think it's $100 over $200 difference. And with that difference, I mean, you could probably get another clay pochette from Louis Vuitton. So it depends whether do you need the extra slot behind the XL. But XL does feels like pretty substantial, and it's more like a wallet feel, whereby this is literally more of a card holder feel. But at the same time, because of this particular flap, it adds certain thickness to it, and when you grip it, I mean, it's still rather substantial. So Chanel quiltings is all to the quiltings, and this quiltings does help and does add certain value, certain luxury feel to it in this particular item, or to all of the items. So That could also, justify a little on why Chanel price point is rather high. And of course, we got to talk about mini pochettes, right? So again, I'm besides mini pochette, which they are pretty good items to start with, I would also highly recommend items, for example, like Toiletry 15, which is again nothing new, I know. And besides that, highly recommend would be this piece. Now this particular pouch, it's in PM size. It's like more like a laptop pouch. There's 3 sizes: PM, MM, and GM. I only have PM size because I mainly use them as a pouch in my bag. But this is a very high versatility, multi-purpose kind of item. I would say is that you could use this as a pouch if, of course, you're carrying a medium to a large size bag, of course. So you can use this as a pouch in your bag. It's very slim. You could have, have your wallet, and you can use this, number one, as your mini pouch, as your wallet, as your clutch. You can have your mobile phones in, your whatever, little wallet, card holder, makeup, a little bit here and there. Grab and go is a very good pouch. You could use this as a wallet as itself. You could also use this as like a clutch as itself, as I've mentioned. And it's very slim. The price point is pretty good. It's just a little bit more than mini pochette, around the same range, I would say. But what you have to offer is so much more. Whereby mini pochette, yes, you do get a lot of videos talking about this already. I'm not going to go into like what fits. You could fit quite a lot. You could fit a card holder, but if you really want to fit, for example, like this kind of flaps, I mean, you would really have to maneuver a lot. You can't really fit well inside because there is an opening zip, and this would hurt your leather piece if you just, grabbing in and out. Even such small pieces, you do have to risk about the teeth of the zip to be rubbing against your leather, especially you have hardware at the same time. So I would say that such pouch, which is much bigger opening, you don't have to worry about it. It's so much easier to use. It's so carefree. It's the capacity is good, and because of its size, you could use it for even more purpose. I honestly, among all the pieces right here, I would recommend this because it has the best functionality. Yes, it doesn't have this particular ring or chain because that adds to the versatility in terms of like crossbody or shoulder carry, or now as a wristlet, yes. But in terms of capacity, and I mean, if you really want to max out a piece and use it like to be a very practical piece, I really love this. And it's not too big to just grab and go as a clutch for your lunch, for your breaks, or for a night out, whatever. So I think this is a very good organizer, clutch, pouch, wallet, whatever you call it. So personally, I really love this. And then moving to Toiletry 15, it's a cute starter size. You can use it for your catch-all makeup, but I don't really highly recommend this. Number one, it's pretty hard to get. You may be stressed out while purchasing and trying to track this down. And but other than that, I would say that it's a very good pouch to use. I mean, it's pretty practical, and at the same time, inside the lining, it's wipeable. So meaning if you really want to use it as a makeup pouch, you don't have to worry much about it. The structure is very good. It's very cute, and this is a very classic piece that you can't go wrong. But do bear in mind the vacata leather, some patina very nicely, some do have stains and whatsoever, which if you can't get over it, or if you're a person with heavy makeup, lots of powder, lots of eye shadow palettes or whatever, you may risk dirtying this particular piece like that if you get so paranoid. That's what I'm saying. And then mini pochette, of course, is highly raveable. I wouldn't talk too much about this, but I do find that, I mean, you can never go wrong with a pouch. So these are definitely a good starter piece, but just that in this category of having a pouch, I would just feel that this gives a high, good versatility into whatever that you can use this for. It's very good, and it's so compact and slim that really if you put it into your bag, it doesn't occupy much of a space. It's very good. It's a very good organizer. I always use this like a divider in my bag. I love that. And let's go back to if you're going for a print, like what type of print you want to go for. The Christmas animation, I think that's cute. If you want to use it for a very long time and you want to use it like on a daily basis, highly abused, highly utilize, go for the dummy bean because it has the, you know, the bulletproof leather that we have, and it's just, you know, very durable, this piece. So for those who's just highly gonna use it, rain or shine, carry it as a pouch, you know, bad weather, good weather, this is good. If you're gonna use it daily, again, to be fair, but if you're keeping it in your bag, and of course your bag is not too many like loose pens and stuff running around, risk-free, because you do have this vachetta leather, then I would say that this is a good piece because it's a very classic monogram. I mean, if you want to start a piece, first few pieces, of course, go with a very classic monogram that you can't go wrong. And at least you have, if it's a forever piece for you, then this is really a signature piece for you in that sense. So we're coming to an end. My last and personal favorite again, I have raved so much about this particular pouch. That's why I highly recommend this. It's called the small O case. It's not the mini, it's the small. And in whatever color you can get if you like the style. Of course, in terms of price point, Chanel, this piece is double the price of this. More than double. Yeah. So that is where you have your card slots ready inside, 3 card slots. You have a slit pocket right here and a middle compartment. But in terms of like, you can fit a phone, it depends what phone you have, but you can use it as a wallet, a pouch, a wallet, come pouch, come coupon holder, mini makeups. Yep, it's a very good size, and you can see, I mean, I'm thankful that I managed to get my hands on this classic black color with caviar, and it's a very practical piece. It's a very good piece to start with, and at least the size. I mean, if you really want to go with something to use, like buy a piece and use it for a long time, 2 things. One, of course, in terms of the durability, how long does it withstand, you know, how do you maintain that piece? And number 2 is how often do you plan to use it? And if you use it, you know, you want to use it for almost all occasions, then usually bigger pieces are of course easier to use and add versatility to whatever activity you have. And but nonetheless, wallet, you know, you can have it every day also. But again, if you want to change down to a card holder, that would be a switch. So it really depends, again, yes. But personally, I would find that this piece and this piece, if you're having a medium bag upwards to a large bag, they are very good pieces to start with. You probably won't regret. Yeah, I would say that. But if you're talking about like what is not to miss, what is like, I mean, definitely a key pouch is something that everybody needs key, but you can have it in a keychain. And if you, I mean, that's for me, if I'm really going to buy one piece, I would probably get this, or maybe a mini case, or probably this as a pouch, whichever brand we're talking about. But because this could be like really a wallet, and it replaced my full wallet, and I can, because when you buy a piece, you of course would like to appreciate, you know, grab up from your bag, make yourself happy. So wallet is a piece that you very often you would have the opportunity to do that. A clutch like this or a little case like this also gives you ample opportunity, because the versatility of it, of how you can use it, you would increase the frequency of reaching for this, so you do maximize this particular usage, and you know, therefore no wastage to it. And then this is also a very practical piece. Like I say, a pouch would never go wrong. It could, and moreover, you have this little wristlet chain. It's even, yeah, something that you wouldn't go wrong. So that really depends again to how you want to digest the information. But this is very cute piece. I would say that maybe for a second or your third piece, because number 1 is hard to get. You will stress yourself up. Number 2 is that it doesn't gives you the contentment or the satisfactory as a starter piece. For me, I would feel that either a mini pochette, a small card holder, for me it's Chanel, or maybe a pouch like that as a starter piece. It would make me feel that substantially I would use it, I would appreciate it, I would not regret it. This, I feel that, I mean, if you really want to hold a clutch like that, I just find it, you could, but these would be more appropriate, and this would be more like a catch-all, really like a makeup case, a toiletry pouch. So which maybe it could be your second or your third purchase, for example, if you have went through all these already, or whichever. So anyway, these are just my personal thoughts. And well, if you do have a better idea, or you think that how you want to add your pieces, you can just leave them in the comments box below. So this video has been pretty long already. I'm not going to add time to it. So thank you guys for joining me in this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.